Hey guys, what's up again? We are out here working some pigs today. We'll kind of go over some of the thoughts that I have on pigs, especially mindful of that. So I think sourcing pigs, it's important to understand what your end game with pigs is. Keep that in mind as you go get ready and source pigs. What are you going to do with them? Or do you want to go with a heritage breed, something that if you're planning on selling piglets, then maybe registered stock is the right way to go. Kind of have a rule of thumb is I want something that is, I want to find a pig farmer that's local. Just so, number one, we believe that food and raising food and farming is relational. There's a relational aspect to that. So finding someone that you could forge a relationship with that's going to be willing to sell you a onesie twosie every year on pigs is important. So that's just kind of a tip that I would throw at you. So you're going to want to know what you're kind of looking at. So go spend some time, go meet the farmer, and then be prepared to pay a little bit more for, if you're going to go buy two pigs, be prepared to pay a little bit more than what you're seeing, and be willing to do that. I encourage you to go pay a little bit more for stock that you want, that you're going to raise for your table fare. Okay, so the next thing that you got to think about when you get pigs is, I think one of the biggest things you have to determine is how you're going to raise pigs. Are you going to raise pigs confinement, or are you going to raise them on some sort of a rotational basis? So basically, are you going to raise them on concrete or some sort of a flooring? If you've seen a modern pig barn, they have slatted floorings, and basically the manure gets washed out underneath. A lot of people for a lot of years have raised pigs that way. You can raise a pig confined. You can also do something about the odor. Pigs are actually a very clean animal. We tried the first year to really raise our pigs semi-confinement, and I will say this, that was an experiment that didn't end the best. It was fine. They grew out fine. We lost them for 3 weeks because I think we kept them too confined. They pushed out of a confinement and disappeared for 3 weeks. When they came back, we locked them up tighter than all get out, and they were just still always wanting to push out of their enclosures. Our pigs that we've raised this year, if they have somehow pushed out of a fence or rolled over a fence or something like that, this year they've hung out. They've stayed close. They know where home is. They know that they can go do a little bit of exploring, but they stay close to home. They don't bolt. So what you saw was a pan of a pig paddock that has 2.5 months rest and quite a bit of rain, probably closer to 3 months rest and quite a bit of rain. Went in and just mowed it down when they first left, and then reseeded with some clover and some things like that, because this spot does get a ton of sun. But that is one impact. What I'm getting ready to go show you next, I'm not necessarily proud of, but we had 4 inches of rain this week. So you got to understand that these pigs were due to move mid this week, but with the rain, it just wasn't possible for me to get them moved. So this right here is what a paddock looks like after about 9 days on a paddock with 3 pigs on it that are 220, 230 pounds. So you can see that managing the pig's impact, understanding the pig's impact to your infrastructure, to your land is important. If you are wanting to do some sort of a rotation on pigs, you need to stay ahead of pigs by a couple paddocks. And I have not done that. So that's partially on me. Now, they're no worse for wear being in that spot than they are being in some place that's the next. The impact is to the land. So it'll be very hard for me to get, at this point in the year, to get anything to regrow there. So next spring, I'll have to go in, probably knock everything down, knock it level, work it over one time, um, and then plant seed in there to get that regrowing, to get some vegetation in there, which is so infrastructure for pigs. So basically, you've seen in some of our other videos how we run our pigs through, and I'll put a card up there on that as far as summertime infrastructure and what we do with our pigs. For a pig, the infrastructure requirements are very minimal. They do need some shelter in the winter, mainly to get them out of the wind. They are a little susceptible to respiratory and things like that. We've never had that problem with ours. Back to some more on infrastructure. What you see right behind me is our fencer. We have a Gallagher SB 400, I believe, is the what kind of fencer we have, electric fencer. Hey, what's up, buddy? No, it's not on. But the 3-year-old, he knows to ask about the fence. That one I definitely would recommend, and that actually runs off of 110 power, which I would also recommend doing that if you're able. If not, you know, solar and battery powered work, but make sure you got plenty of batteries and or a way to charge your solar if you're not getting a lot of sunlight. Pigs need to feel that every time they touch the fence. So really basic shelter, way to run electric fence or hard fencing. Woven wire is one way. You got to go heavy on your T-posts on that because they will push out. So those are really basic overview of the infrastructure that you'll need for pigs. The last point I want to talk about is the economics of pigs. So I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of the numbers that we have or the numbers that we have shown, but I can tell you right now, on average, what I can raise a pig for start to finish is somewhere around $400. Our yield is right somewhere in between 140 and 150 pounds of pork at the end of that. So $400, divide that by 140, just to be on the conservative side, and you're coming up with about $2.75 a pound for pig. Getting down to the nitty gritty, it's going to depend on your feed cost. It's going to depend on whether you're farrowing that piglet yourself or you're buying that piglet. If you're paying, you know, $50, $60 a head, then your price is going to be closer to that $200 or that $400 range to feed a pig out, buy a pig, and then have it processed. That is, so what that price includes is feeding it out plus having it processed. So, and processing costs are going to be different across the country. So if I can get one processed for around $1, anywhere from $1.20 down to 95 cents a pound, with some surcharges in there, that is, in our area, that is kind of the going rate for processing a pig. You can also do that yourself if that's something you're willing to learn and something willing to do. That is kind of where we're at on pigs, what we've learned, and I just wanted to share that knowledge. Let us know in the comments what you guys have experienced with pigs. What's your experience? And I'm talking real life experience. All you keyboard warriors out there, if you've never raised pigs, no, I'm just kidding. If you've seen a different way, a different method, or you've got a serious issue with something that I said, or just think of it differently than I do, let me know. I'm definitely willing to listen. I think that there's plenty of room, as with any systems, as with anything that you do in this farm life, there is a different way. and there is a different way to peel a potato, as some people would say. So let me know what you think about that. Let me know if you've had a different experience with pigs. With that, guys, we're going to get off here. We'll talk to you next time. We're out. Listen to that little sucker. He is so mad I didn't bring him any food. They look like baby